All right. Good morning, Bethany.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for asking. So I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for being here early with me. And before we dive in and get started into our first call, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I am at Point Loma Nazarene University's integrated wellness program, and I am a health and wellness-based coach in training. So at the end of this program, I'll be able to sit for my national board certification, but right now I'm not certified. I'm just practicing. So thank you for giving me your time and letting me work out my kinks and learn from you too. So hopefully we can learn together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I guess we can go ahead and get started here. First of all, thank you for agreeing to let me coach you. Um, uh, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that you'd like to work on, and your reason for saying yes to these coaching sessions?
Um, yeah, I just need to get out of a slump that I'm in and figure out how to navigate through some emotions that I'm feeling right now and get back on to a healthy lifestyle.
Okay. All right. Um, how um have you ever felt this way before? Have you ever been through one of these little troughs, if you will?
Yes, years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And can we talk about what you did to successfully get yourself out of that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, I started exercising and eating healthier, and I was studying scripture and meditating a lot. Almost every morning, I would have a routine. I would get up and either exercise in the morning or at night, but I would get up and study scripture in the morning and meditate on it. And then I I was in a good place, I think, mentally. I knew how to control my emotions, and so, I felt a lot of self-control with, like, my eating because I've struggled with emotional eating, but I had finally found a balance in life, to not do that, and I once I found good health, I enjoyed it and I wasn't tempted, but now it's just getting back on track with that.
Mhm. Got it. Um, what what do you think your big roadblocks are to getting to to getting yourself out of it right now, like acutely, like what's going on right now? What do you think your biggest roadblocks are?
Um, I think, well, having a 9-month-old, it keeps you busy
Yeah.
and tired.
Yeah.
And then just, I think the weight of everything that's going on in my life, going through a divorce and stuff like that is hard. And so just trying to get out from underneath that like darkness that kind of lingers over you through all of that is just, yeah, I think, the depression that's come with that is it's just hard, until you can get out from underneath that and find solid ground. It's yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. That's big life stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And and anybody would be feeling the weight of that, and the fact that you're here with a smile on your face and 8:30 in the morning talking to me says a lot about your resiliency and how strong you are. So and I wanted to take you back to that that place of, kind of I've been here before and I can do it again. And I know with the new stressors that life brings, sometimes it can be feeling a little bit down in that moment. It's like, this is new stuff. I'm dealing with it and I know what I need to do to get back there, but how do I navigate this stuff? Um, so that's what I hope to be here and support you with today. so um, just so you know, Bethany, my goal as a coach to you is to never tell you what to do. Um, and thank you for sharing all of that with me. We're gonna dive more into all of that and pick that apart in a minute. But I just want to let you know that in this, I will never tell you what to do. I will I will hopefully just act as a guide on your path, because I really believe that you already know what to do deep inside of you. And like you just said, you've been through this before. You've crawled your way out, and these are the things that you did to be successful again. And I know that you can do that again. It'll just be figuring out how to carve that new path, right, with your new situation as a mom to a little boy, and then now going through your divorce and all the things that life has thrown at all of us in the last 12 months. So I just want to
Yeah.
tell you that I'm here to um, just help guide you on your path, and I won't tell you what to do. I can help you brainstorm, but I believe that deep in you, you already know what to do. So I wanted to let you know that's kind of my philosophy on all of this, and we're gonna dive in here to what you were talking about earlier as far as what made you successful. So it sounds like a lot of what's going on with you, and let me know your thoughts on this. Are there's a lot of emotional stuff going on, a lot of heavy stuff. Tell me a little bit more about your spiritual practice and how that's helped you in the past.
Well, I know, obviously God is our guide in life, and, you know, f- finding that place where you can fully submit to Him and, truly be living for Him and not myself is, a place that I was in and I would like to get back. But it's, when you've been through a lot of hurt, it's hard to make yourself vulnerable again. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just trying to find that trust and letting go and just moving forward without, trying to control everything. So, but um yeah, I mean, I know that God is, you know, I know that his way is the way, and it's just trusting it.
hmm Yeah, it sounds like that surrendered space that you were in before was part of your success. Um, at taking good care of yourself and getting healthy the way that you want to be healthy
Yeah.
previously. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to live from, but it's a hard place to live from sometimes. Um, what um, what do you think is more important to you? Um,
It is.
yeah, yeah, very hard to let go all the time. You mentioned that
Yeah.
you mentioned that you had um, that you were really taking care of yourself spiritually, and that you were also exercising, and that you and so eating healthy, exercising, and then I brought in more of that spiritual, emotional component because you said that you got that you felt like you were emotionally eating, and that your spiritual practice kind of helped you navigate that and kind of get that under control. So that's why I went the spiritual route. But as far as the exercise and the eating and like the spiritual practice side of things, is there any of those three things that you want to focus on with me right now, like it, or um you feel like they're all encompassing, or which one is kind of jumping out to you?
Um, well, they're all together, but
They really
it's I think I don't know, I need to find the balance of eating the right foods again
are.
and stuff that, you know, yeah, that's something that I had, a healthy eating lifestyle, and there were things that I knew affected my body, and it's trying to kind of figure out what those are again because it's been so long.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there's just certain things I know in my life that are kind of like triggers, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
And so figuring out what those are and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that. Have you had you so you said you have triggers. Do you know about a couple of them? And when you say triggers, are you talking about triggers that make you um not make good choices, or is that kind of what I'm curious about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know that sugar and a lot of, I didn't really used to eat breads
Mhm.
and stuff like that because it was just heavier on me. And I know that sugar just kind of is hard on my body, both mentally and physically. It's, I don't know, some people may not realize that, but for me it is. I mean, it increases my anxiety and stuff like that. But it's the one thing that I crave all the time.
Mhm.
So it's just trying to get over that and find the right foods to replace that, um, and help me get over that just grip on it.
Sure. Yeah. What whenever you are craving the sugar, or you said the breads, what's going on in your life around you that makes you want those things?
Stress,
Yeah. I love those.
stress and exhaustion.
Yeah, being tired totally makes your body crave those quick carbohydrates. Yeah. Yeah. And instant pleasure, right? Kind of
Yes.
calms the storm a little bit. But maybe doesn't make our bodies feel so great. Um, what what did you do in the past to calm yourself in those moments when it came to making good choices? Was there anything that you told yourself, um, or what were you doing to not to stay away from those things before?
Um, well, actually, I would, um, in that moment, I would like look up some scripture
Mhm.
or I would go for a walk. I mean, at work, I'm thankful I have that ability. I can go for a walk around my office or something in those times, and um, I need to get back to doing that.
Yeah. So kind of taking yourself out of the situation has been
Yeah,
helpful. Okay. Or bringing your mind back to that surrender God moment, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna settle. Okay. All right. You think you could do that again
yeah,
for that? Yeah.
yeah. I never really thought about that, but yeah.
I love that idea. I'm taking notes, like, I'm gonna do that too. Get the scripture down and have it handy. Yeah, that's really beautiful. And what a beautiful way to remind yourself that you are guided, and that, everything is happening, around you, not to you, and it's going to be okay. And that sugar, or whatever maybe unhealthy thing that you were going to try to, use to make yourself feel better. You can use other things to make you feel better, like movement, releasing that stress, and then, the spiritual component. So I love this because you're literally tying all three things that you brought up at the beginning: your exercise, the spiritual side of things, and the eating, like all together. We really, really love this practice. Um, so, what right now with your current situation, you've got little guy, and that is distracting, right?
Yes.
From you taking care of yourself. Whether I'm a mom too. I totally get it, and I find myself mindlessly eating also whenever I'm stressed. I'm like, oh, there's so much going on, and a lot of times it's because, not to blame him, but there's a lot going on with him. So
Hmm.
I was just wondering, what what are some ideas that you might have to, in your current situation with, being a mom, and then, the heavy stuff going on, as far as, your separation, and work stress, all of that. What are some things that you can do right now that um would help you with, like, the implementing the scripture in your life, when you're maybe about to make an unhealthy choice? Or you mentioned you're able to get up and walk around your office. Maybe we could think of some ideas for implementation at home too, for, like,
Yeah.
getting up and moving around. So let's talk a little bit about that. Are there any ideas that you have for current day
Um,
Bethany?
yeah. Um, well, I've started putting Gabe, my son, to bed earlier. And that has helped because it gives me a little more time at night, just to do some stuff. And so maybe making a point, if I even for a 10 to 20-minute walk every day. Um, and that's something that if here lately, like I've started to try exercising, but if I don't have time to do it consistently and like get a good workout out, then I get just hard on myself. So I'm trying to more or less just appreciate even just the smallest type of exercise.
Mhm.
And like you said, give grace to myself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that just making time to make sure and have just a little bit of exercise each day. And like I said, even if it's 10 to 20 minutes, and then also the same with reading scripture and meditating.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Having a little you time.
Hmm.
Mhm. Um, yeah, it's important for all of us, but, as especially as mamas that don't have a lot of time of the day, we have to find those little corners of time. What you So you mentioned that you could put Gabe down a little bit earlier. So do you think that evenings would be best for that you time?
Um, Probably, yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know. It helps to have a little bit of time in the morning just to kind of reset my mind each morning. So I'm trying to figure out now that he's gone to bed earlier, if I can't go to bed maybe a little bit earlier so I have a little more time in the mornings to get that, just to prepare myself for the day.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe waking up before him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot out there. There's Oh my gosh, I can think of just a couple New York Times bestselling books right now that are all about the how important our mornings are, like setting
Yeah.
your mind up for success and before our crazy days start. And so that I love that plan, and what a good way to get your day going. And even when you go get little Gabe out of bed, you'll be happy. He'll, be a nice energy exchange, and you can just carry on with a happy day. Okay,
Yeah.
love that. What um what barriers do you think would be in your way to you waking up early and maybe doing some meditation or getting a little exercise in? What
Just the fact that I'm sleeping so well because I'm exhausted.
totally a nice
But I know, like, I know what I need to do, and what would benefit me in the long run. And so it's just on the days that things are a little heavier than others, it's hard. But if I can get past that point and I know that if I can get back to a healthy spot, I'll be better, mentally, physically, and I know I won't be as exhausted as I am right now.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, and maybe, I don't know, I kind of need to reset my focus on that. And if I can just push through the hard stuff, I know that there's good at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, you have great ideas. So it sounds like you've thought through this before, and you kind of know what you need to do to be successful. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I know that I could wake up and do this tomorrow, or 1 being like, I don't know, I'm ready for this. How confident do you think you are in being able to do this, even if it's just for a week, just to try it out?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm at like a 5 or 6.
That's good. Yeah. And give yourself, like I said, that you said, give yourself grace, and also, um if I might, just give a little tip, just because I think as moms we operate a lot from a place of guilt, guilt of not doing enough for our kid, guilt of, of everything, right? And related to that little person. But then, there's also guilt of, taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first sometimes. And then there's guilt when we don't do that. So it's such a catch 22. And maybe, that this helps me sometimes, Beth, like taking away the guilt portion of that self-care and telling myself, um I first of all, I get to do this, like I get to
Mhm.
wake up and do these things. And that is really hard when your bed's really cozy and warm. And you're like, I don't want to get up. This feels so good.
Yeah.
um and then also, removing the guilt when you don't want to do it. And when you don't want to do it, don't make, removing that guilt from just the fact that I don't feel like doing this today. And then also removing the guilt from I didn't do that today,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So, yeah, give yourself grace, for that, but also just know that, it's okay to remove the guilt of taking care of you, because that's surrendered. um I'm taking care of me, by, surrendering to God, and and getting in line with Him in the morning. And then moving your body, if that resonates with you too, doing a little physical exercise, might help, kind of, shift that perspective from I feel bad for taking care of myself, to I get to do this to take care of myself, so that I can show up better for my son and my family and, everyone else in my life.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
how do you feel about that? How does that land for you?
Yeah. That definitely, looking at it like that kind of puts a different light on it. Mhm. Is looking at it as an opportunity. and not a have to, but like you said, like a get to. That is, yeah.
Yeah. When you look at it from a get to, what's your scale on a or what's your number on a scale of 1 to 10? Does it change it at all?
Uh, yeah. It's closer to a 10.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when we shift how we are showing up in that area, sometimes it can give us that little boost of confidence that like this is actually important. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I love that. Um how how does maybe meeting next week sometime sound so we can kind of check in on you and see how you're doing with that. Maybe we can see how you're feeling with it, will down some details of how you want to implement your morning practices. But I would love to chat with you next week if you're free.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let me know what days. Maybe in the middle of the week, just to give me some days to try it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like that. Yeah, give you some time.
Yeah.
It's a big change to wake up before your kid, you're a lot of times you're having
Right.
extra sleep. So
Yeah.
even if you just get it in, once or twice and just feel it out and we'll be able to talk about that next week and you know carve out some details of future plans.
Yeah.
Well, Bethany, thank you so much for your time today. I love your ideas. I've literally took some notes myself about ways that I can be more successful at, staying spiritual in my own self writing down some scripture and just having that around is really beautiful. So thank you for blessing me too this morning and for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.